Dude, let's go down to Taco Bell and get ourselves a Taco Bell Grande. That'll be so tubular. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's Season 1, Episode 4 of Overhauling, where we're taking the Element Enduro Sendero and making it unique and taking it to that next level and doing a bunch of cool stuff to it. In the previous episode, we converted this truck to independent front suspension courtesy of the Element IFS kit. And I've got to say, it looks really cool. A lot of people have asked, is it going to make performance any better or any worse? And well, IFS traditionally doesn't make rock crawling any easier. It definitely makes it a little bit harder, as anybody with a FJ Cruiser will attest to. That said, I didn't really do this for performance. I'm doing it to overhaul the truck. So, you know, the nature of this series is to try to take something and make it a little bit different and make it unique. And I think that IFS kit is definitely doing that. And it makes it a lot more accurate for the next steps of this build, which we're going to talk about right now. For this episode, I wanted to make sure I got the body done, a lot of the exterior detailing done, and almost to a place that I would call this truck done. There are a few more things I'm going to do to it for the next episode coming up in this series, but this is a leap in terms of where the truck was and how it was sitting before. I've got a final paint scheme done. This is the Tacoma Bell Grande, I'm calling it. It is definitely Taco Bell themed from the early 90s, late 80s. This is the scheme. I did a lot of research online to find the right paint colors for what was sort of the design of the stores at that time. Lots of fun colors here, purples, cobalt, pinks, lots of really interesting kind of details that really do set it apart from a lot of paint jobs that I've done in the past. I mixed a lot of my own colors using Proline's airbrushing for Lexan body paint. I will caution everyone out there that using Proline paints without some sort of top layer from a spray can result in the easy removal of that paint. A little bit of a scratch will tend to actually go right through to the original body. So you do have to be careful when you use these paints, but if you do a final coat with a Tamiya PS spray, the paint does tend to stick much better if you do that. So I will highly recommend that you do a final coat in spray to do sort of like your backing coat, I guess. That said, I'm really pleased with the look. All the little geometric shapes I think really worked out. These decals that I used for the actual Tacoma and the Taco Bell Grande kind of look there are from my friend Timp RC. He does some very nice vinyl cuts, and this was really helpful to have these. Thank you very much, Jade. I really appreciate that. All of the Knight Customs print at home parts from my mini factory have been sanded, painted, and installed on this truck as well. Not the best sanding job I've ever done in my whole life, but certainly good enough. I'm really happy with all of these parts. It's really nice to add some dimension to this metric body from Proline. It really helps to have these oversized fenders as well. I think it really adds to the overall look, and to have a three-dimensional grille, front bumper, rear bumper, Overland style cage on the back of the bed, door mirrors, door handles. All these little bits and pieces really add up and really make the truck shine, and I think really add a unique look to a Lexan body. I really like how this front bumper integrates really nicely into the IFS system. It all looks like it's sort of made to go together in one piece, even though this bumper came out long before the IFS was even a glimmer in the designer's eyes. James Knight did a great job on all of these parts. You can get them from Shapeways. I know that Shapeways costs have become very prohibitive lately, so if that's not something you're into and you have a 3D printer at home, or know somebody that has a 3D printer and is willing to print out some parts for you, my mini factory is an excellent option if you are looking to do some printing at home. Of course, you won't get the same quality as Shapeways, but I'm willing to make a sacrifice in terms of quality to save myself a whole bunch of cash in the long run. I also added a Josh Smells license plate to this rear bumper. I thought it was sort of fitting and, you know, kind of mandatory that I somehow make fun of Josh. I'm gonna get a whole bunch more accessories. I think we'll have to deck this thing out properly like an overland vehicle would be. But this is a good start, and I think it just really adds a whole other level of customization that might have been missing in some people's trucks before. Most people know on this metric body that the hood is removable. I've just got it stuck down with some double-sided tape for now. But underneath, I reveal a 3D printed Knight Customs My Mini Factory motor for this metric body. I did some detail painting with my airbrush and some airbrushing paints from Vallejo just to give it a little bit of pop as well. I think it sits in there really nicely and adds a whole other layer to this truck in terms of its realism. I'm really pleased with how this truck is coming along. I think it's really starting to look pretty darn good. And barring a few details here and there, we're very close to being finished, and I think by episode 5, we'll be able to call this completely done. If you were putting together this truck, what next steps would you recommend? Put your comments down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of them as I can, and in this case, I'll definitely try to implement as many of them as I can as well. I'll probably add a few more decals here and there to really kind of sell this as sort of like a, I don't know, overland style, maybe support truck for a desert race or something like that. We'll definitely need to add an interior to this truck because you can't have a truck look this good without having an interior. If any of you have a suggestion on which interior panel might work really well with this metric body, or if Proline even offers one for the metric body, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, if you have any ideas, post them down below, of course. And if you're enjoying this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. Also, I do want you to check out our merch deck right below this video. We've got some pretty cool shirts, including a pretty funny one that I came up with recently. It's sort of like a RC sponsor shirt, and it makes me chuckle every time I look at it. I'm really keen to get this truck out. There are a few more details, like I said, that I want to do before this is finished, but then it's definitely going to be worthy of getting a nice trail running video. I think it's going to be a pretty fun truck on the trails, especially with that IFS. So I think that's going to do it for episode 4. A quick one, but a very informative one, and lots of new parts added to the truck, and we are very close to being done. I am pretty stoked on this one. I think it is pretty tubular. And if you've got any other 80s or 90s catchphrases that you want to toss at me, put them down below. So we'll see you on the flip side, home slice. That's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again on the next one.